burger is hella good. Sorry, had to make that bad pun right there. Because I'm talking about one of my all-time favorite Killer Clown movies. This was the one that got me. This was the first Killer Clown movie I saw from the 2000s. Like, before I saw Killjoy 3, before I saw Killjoy 1, before I saw any of the Killjoys, before I saw Mr. Jingles, before I saw Jingles the Clown, I saw Drive-Thru. And going into this, I read the info for it back when FearNet existed. I saw this in 2008. Uh, so, being the first next gen Killer Clown movie, I didn't know what to expect, and the info said uh, the killer the killer Horny the Clown will kill anybody with his meat cleaver from hell, and I was turned off by the name of the clown at first, but I grew to like it because it makes sense. He's got horns on his head. I figured with the way it was spelled, I figured like he always had an erection, and that's not a killer I want to be thinking about. But the clown, Horny the Clown, is pretty damn cool. Uh, he's he has sexual puns throughout most of the movie, so that's pretty. Some of them get annoying, but most of them I thought were pretty funny. And like because he's the mascot of Helleburger, as you can see in the background. Don't know if you can see that. Ah, right there. Right there is the restaurant. He's pretty much the mascot character of Helleburger, which is a fast food joint, kind of like McDonald's or Burger King. Imagine Ronald McDonald, but more perverse. And instead of wearing face paint, he wears a mask. Uh, I love the killer's mask. I'm gonna open it up. He is on the disc. Tell me that killer doesn't look at least badass in some way. I'm sure the Killer Clown fans will love it, but all the mainstream fans, the ones who ogle and suck Christopher Nolan's dick and suck Michael Bay's dick over all these remakes and stuff, I'll stick to this because this movie is fun. It's funny. I laughed. I I cringed at some of the dialogue, and overall, I had a blast with it. So what this movie is about? First off, let's start off. This had a bad start, like a terrible start for me, because I cannot stand wannabe gangsters. That's why I don't like Eminem. People say Insane Clown Posse is wannabe gangsters. Nah, not compared to Eminem and Nicki Minaj and stuff like that. Lil Wayne, Lil Jon. Lil Jon I actually enjoy. Some of his songs make me laugh, but they're not intentionally funny. They're unintentionally funny. Not much for special features. So it starts off, we've got these wannabe gangsters in a car listening to rap music, being total assholes to their girlfriends, and they stop at Helleburger, and the way he does it, he's like, "We're going to motherfucking Helleburger, yo! Gonna get our double chili cheese all up in here." He says the N word, and no white man should ever say the N word. Like, just don't. Don't even say it with an A. Don't say it with an ER. Uh, the only time I'll accept it is if you're saying Negro because it's Spanish for black. But other than that, fuck you if you use the N word. I know Blasey Red Homie did it. I'll forgive him for that because in the song he uses it in, I do like the song. But other than that, fuck off with the N word. So it had a rough start. The wannabe gangsters end up throwing a beer bottle or a wine cooler bottle, it looked like, at uh, the sign that says "Welcome to Blanca County," which is where the movie takes place. The city is called Blanca County, and they end up stopping at Helleberger, and I'm just like, these assholes better die in some pretty cool way. And they're talking in the drive-thru, hence the title, and they're like, uh, we want 4 chili cheese dogs, hella half pounders. And the girl's like, I want a milkshake, chocolate. And he ends up saying, you're pulling out your Chinese ass it is, booty quake. And I'm just like, ugh. I'm surprised the girl didn't kill him. And his gangster name is B-Side. Really? I could think of a better gangster name than you. I'm not gonna because I'm whiter than motherfucker, alright? Look at that. I'm pale as a dead body. I'll stick to Psychopath1c. It was a nickname I got when I was in the 2nd grade because of my laugh. Because I have a really disturbing laugh. My teacher said I laughed like a psychopathic, and uh, my friend said I'm one crazy psychopathic, so I combined the words psychopathic. That's how my name came to be. So, anyways, uh, the wannabe gangster ends up getting dissed by Horny the Clown. He's like, can I fuck your whore where? And he's like, what the fuck did you just say? Can I take your order, mister? And then he ends up saying, you wanna die, bitch? And then he's like, you dissing this? I seen their grease spot? How about I show Jack off in the box? What's up? And he's like, do you want fries with that? And B-Side, the wannabe gangster, is like, hell no. And like, this is so incredibly stupid. Like, the first wannabe gangster ends up going inside, uh, ends up picking the lock, and clearly there's nobody there. You can tell something is up. So what he does is he goes all the way to the freezer, but before that he ends up dissing Horny the Clown. He's like, Clown boy, come out wherever you are. And then he goes in the back of the freezer, and he sees rats. Well, a rat crawling across the floor, and he's like, oh shit, I'm never in here again. He ends up closing the door. Horny the Clown shows up, and he's like, order up, punk! Throws him, and he's got cool boots and everything, and I'm just like, yeah, that's what I want to see. That's a killer clown I want to see. And he ends up walking, and he's like, employee of the month's gonna fuck you up. And I'm just like, yeah, he's got one-liners, he's got a cool outfit, and now I want to see what kind of weapon he uses. Uh, it cuts back to the other annoying wannabe gangster, B-Side. He's going inside, and he's like pulling out his gap like he's going to do something, and he's first off, his buddy who ends up dying first is like, dumbass cracker, dude, you're white. Come on, man. And the guy's holding up his gun, and he's like, yo, Tony, you better not be playing. and he's all scared and everything, but still acting all gangster. And then he's like, "Whoever's up in here better chill before I put a cap in your ass." And great death. He ends up seeing his friend with his head in the deep fryer. You know where you fry the fries and everything. Ooh, tasty. He he takes his friend's head out of the deep fryer. His face falls off, and we get to see the muscles and the blood and everything. Granted, you can tell it's fake, but I support what they were trying to do. Then he ends up screaming like a little bitch. Horny comes up behind him and ends up putting him on the platform where all the food goes to be delivered through the drive-thru. And B-side is now not the wannabe gangster he was at the beginning. He's like, "Please, please, I'm rich, I'm rich. My dad can get you whatever you want." And then Horny gets his weapon of choice out, which is a deformed meat cleaver, and he goes like, "Sorry, homie," and then it moves real fast, like, "That just ain't gonna cut it." And I'm just like, damn. Granted, we don't get to see the impact of the cleaver going into the body, but damn, that was a cool opening. And then it cuts to bad, bad, bad high school band. Like, I didn't like Leighton Meester's singing. I didn't like the guitar playing. I didn't like the drum player. I mean, I liked the characters, but they can't play with shit. Come on, get some Kiss in there. Maybe get a little bit of Metallica, Pantera, Slipknot. Maybe have some Sepultura in there. Maybe a little bit of municipal waste in there. Get something other than this. It depresses me. And it's not supposed to be a depressing song, but it depresses me. And this goes on for a full 3 minutes, so it's a full length song we're listening to. And I fast forwarded through it when I got the DVD. Thankfully, I have the DVD, so I could just fast forward through that shit. And it's a house party we're at for a graduation, and it just so happens to be the week of our main character's birthday. Um, she's on the back. Leighton Meester plays Mackenzie. She's about to turn 18, and she's acting like she's all hard. Not wannabe gangster, thankfully. We had enough of that at the beginning, but she's acting all hard like, uh, uh, you can't do anything good in Orange County. Uh, it sucks here. I want to go to New York to be with her boyfriend, played by Nicholas DeGuste, who plays in Final Destination 5, which I still haven't seen. I know. Final Destination 5 has been out for a couple years, and I still haven't seen it. I still haven't even seen the Final Destination. So, anyways, we get introduced to her boyfriend, her friend Val, played by doesn't say her name on the back. Morgan Spurlock plays a weird cameo because he happened to be in Super Size Me, so gotta have a random cameo in there. Not even a good cameo, just more of a stupid one. There's some stupid stuff in this, but it didn't hinder my experience of the movie. So, anyways, Mackenzie, uh, fast forwarding, uh, the party gets broken up by the cops, and we were introduced to Rachel Bella's character, Starfire. We got Starfire Van, played by hell is his name? Van played by the same kid who played in the Stepfather remake. Um, and we've got Fisher, which they call him Fish in the end credits, but he's referred to as Fisher throughout the movie, played by Nicholas D'Augusto, or D'Augusto, and Mackenzie, played by played by Leighton Meester. So those are our four main characters. And I didn't like them at first, but they kind of grew on me as the movie went along. And I actually felt sorry for some of them when they died. Spoiler alert, I won't go through the deaths, but they are pretty damn awesome. But they're ruined by really bad screaming heavy metal. Like they're saying the same lyrics over and over again. I'm gonna bash your brains in. That's what I got from it. But it's played over most of the kills. And I'm just like, man, never have I thought heavy metal with killing would be so. Ugh. I much rather would hear Dragula while the killing is going on because the movements felt right. Slash slash could have went great, but nope, they couldn't afford a Rob Zombie song, which is understandable. Uh, so they got this unknown band. Uh, I forget their names, but I did like the song that plays throughout some of the scenes. The banner. Uh, it's a rap song, which I'm not really into rap to begin with. I'm like into occult rap, which is like satanic, Stitch Mouth, uh, Body Festival, stuff like that. Even though Body Festival is clowncore heavy metal, they do a couple of rap songs. They're French, but you can tell they rap a little bit. But anyways, uh, she ends up smoking a joint that Val ends up taking out of her ear, not out of her ear, but like the earlobe, and gives it to Mackenzie, and they all pass the joint around, and then uh, Starfire ends up finding a Ouija board, and I'm like, the Ouija board has been done to death with Witchboard, Witchboard 2, Witchboard 3, Witchboard the Possession. It's been done Exorcist. Um, it's even been done in music videos, and I'm just like, enough with the goddamn Ouija board. It's even been done in The Frighteners, which is my all-time favorite Michael J. Fox movie. But the Ouija board doesn't play a big part, thankfully. And they're all gathering around and touching the Blanchette, or whatever it's called. And they're all silent, clearing their minds and everything. And Nicholas D'Augusto's like, better not say anything bad, or else you could call up a demon or Charles Manson. And Van's like, dude, we can dial up Marilyn Manson with this shit. Let's get it on. And I just giggled at that. And you get a fart joke. Yeah, immature fart joke. Uh, Van's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I think I can hear the spirits. And you literally hear the fart sound. And they're all like, ew, gross. And I'm just like, really? You had me. You had me in a good mood, and you had to do a fart joke. You had me giggling, and you had to do a fart joke. But thankfully, no more stupid jokes after that until we get to Morgan Spurlock, which I'll get to. And then it cuts to the next day. Mackenzie's got this magic 8 ball. Remember those things from the 70s and 80s? You shake them after you ask them a question and they say yes or no answers. or my answer is a little hazy or something like that. Well, she shakes it while asking, should I go to class or get baked in the bathroom? Shakes it, says, hi, Mackenzie, and she asks, who are you? And and it says, you'll see. And she asks, why are you doing this? And it replies, a broken heart. And you, Horny is giving her clues on who's gonna die. And then it cuts to Val and her broken heart tattoo. And here's where we get our first real death. Um, Val ends up getting taken, and I'm not going to tell you what happens, but it's an original way to die in a killer conflict. Granted, it's not humorous like Stitches or gory like, let's say, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, but it's pretty original. But anyways, Horny ends up chasing Mackenzie while she's developing her pictures. And sorry if I'm spoiling the whole movie, but how can I review this film without talking about the whole film? Uh, so yeah, I'm kind of spoiling everything, but come on, who hasn't seen Drive-Thru at least once? Even if it's a guilty pleasure for some people, at least they enjoy it. Most people hate this movie, but I happen to like it. It reminds me of 80s slashers combined with teen slashers like Scream and whatnot. Larry Joe Campbell is also in this as a detective, so I'm skipping all the detective parts since they don't really add anything to the plot. Um, but anyways, uh, while she's developing the pictures, she gets camera flash, and it happens to show the picture of the dark one she's developing the pictures in. And she's like, oh my god. And Horny ends up saying, say cheese. And he ends up going after Mackenzie. They're not really running around the table, but she's trying to get away from him. And he's like, where do you think you're going? Kicks him in the balls and runs away. And ends up finding the janitor has hung himself for some reason. Yeah, I skipped a couple parts. Yeah. But anyways, she ends up trying to get out of the school, and she's like, fuck. And Horny's like, here's where you get the perverse jokes. Um, oh, Mackenzie, I'm lonely. You know you want my horn dog in your sweet little buns. And then she's like, you're not going to be like that when you're getting gang raped in your prison cell every night. And then he's like, oh, come on, don't be that way. I'm horny. And he breaks through the window and he moves in a really cool way. He moves almost like a cowboy a little bit. And I do like some westerns, so yeah. He's walking like a cowboy, like kind of limping, but when he runs, he's like runs really fast. It's sped up using the CGI and whatnot. There's a little bit of CGI in this movie, which I didn't really mind because it's it's only noticeable in the parts where you can tell that they had to use CGI, like speeding up something, playing something backwards or whatnot. And speaking of playing something backwards, there's a reference to Highway to Hell twice. And you'd think you would hear the song, but no. Apparently, ACDC is too great for this movie. I love ACDC, and I would have loved to have heard Highway to Hell in this since it's referenced twice. And they play it backwards, and I've heard the song backwards. This sounds nothing like the song backwards. And and she's doing this while there's a poster of Blink 182. Really? You're going to be listening to a band as awesome as AC/DC while having a Blink 182 poster. I'm not judging people here because I haven't liked some Blink 182 songs, but come on. At least show your metal headness. I know headness is not a real word, but come on. Show that you're a metalhead a little bit if you're going to be listening to some AC/DC backwards. I heard that if you listen to a Led Zeppelin song backwards, it sounds like they're talking about food. But anyways, uh, then we cut to her listening to the song backwards, and her boyfriend comes in, getting get a sex scene with no nakedness, uh, and then it cuts to a carnival, and we get a haunted house death. Awesome death. Horny pretty much kills a bitch and her pussy ass boyfriend. Great gore. All I'm gonna say is the head opens up like this. We get a darkness, and then we hear the and then the girl's like, "Oh, my product's all wet." Who gives a fuck about your damn t-shirt and damn clothing? You're gonna die. And she's covered in blood, and then we see, all I'm gonna say is we see a head of gore. Really damn cool. Most of the money probably went into the acting and stuff, but they did a good job on some of the gore, and this shows. And then, after the haunted house deaths, Fisher's in the hospital. They think he did it, and they think Fisher's the one who's been killing all the teens. And you find out that Horny happens to have been the son of Jack Benjamin, the owner of Kelleberger. And what happens is you find out that uh, his name was Archie Benjamin. Uh, he died in the 70s. He died on his 18th birthday. And he was killed by the mothers and fathers of the kids who have been killed. And I'm like, oh, okay, so it's a revenge angle, which I don't really mind, but granted, it's never been done with a killer clown, at least not that I can think of from this year, 2007. And so I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. And it's kind of a ghost story. It's a ghost revenge flick. Uh, it's hinted at that Horny the Clown is a demon, but when you find out how he turned into a demon, you're like, why would a person like this go to hell? Because don't you have to make a deal with the devil or something in order to come back to life and be a demon or something? I mean, I guess that's how it would work in most movies, but apparently in this, the angels gave him some powers and some badass powers at that. And he comes back to life, kills a bunch of the kids. So it plays kind of like a Nightmare on Elm Street, which I enjoy the Nightmare on Elm Streets, but I enjoy Friday the 13th way more. And this will get a high rating in my house, in my eyes at least. And this definitely gets the bad taste of demonic toys too out of my mouth. So why not review something I thoroughly enjoyed? The ending, pretty damn cool. Um, the one-liners I thought were excellent. The overall atmosphere of the film, it taking place in California, you got some beautiful scenery. And the Morgan Spurlock cameo, which I absolutely hated. They and The cameo happens during my all-time favorite death in any type of killer clown horror film. You get a funhouse death. Two assholes and Horny the Clown comes out of the ball pit really slowly, and he's like, "Did someone say pork? Chop!" Throws his meat flavor. I won't tell you what it does, but it's pretty damn funny. You can tell it's a fake meat flavor though, but I, I appreciate what the filmmakers were trying to do. But Morgan Spurlock faints and he's like, "Oh, oh," faints, and the Horny the Clown mascot, the normal human being one, is like, "Ah," screaming, and I'm just like, what the hell? The death is so over the top that it's funny, and that makes it my favorite death out of all the Killer Clown movies. One of my favorites, at least. Stitches has some pretty awesome deaths as well, which I'll probably review that at some point. Apparently, a lot of people like my Stitches review. I'll probably review it again because it is definitely an enjoyable film. But uh, Archie ended up dying from being burned to death, and so that's why he wears the awesome Horny the Clown mask. And I'm just like, ooh, I wonder what he looks like. And you've got to pause it just right when it comes to the scene where he gets his mask taken off by Nicholas DeGusto. Yeah, I spoiled it. If you pause just the right moment, you get to see what he looks like without the mask. But you've got to pause it at just the right moment. And when I saw his face, I was, ooh, that's pretty cool. It reminds me of Freddy Krueger with a little bit of Jason Voorhees. And the movement was right. And the costume doesn't remind me of any other type of killer out there. So you've got an original costume, which is really enjoyable when it comes to a Lionsgate film. Yes, Lionsgate made this film. Well, not made it, but they distributed it. But this film was awesome. I definitely give it a solid 9 out of 10. The only thing that ruins it is the overall wannabe gangsters at the beginning, and some parts did drag, but you got some pretty funny dialogue. I think all the actors did their job, did what they could. The gore was excellent, even though it was the gore was awesome in my eyes, but there was very little of it. The deaths were pretty cool in original, not as cool in original as Stitches, which would come out 6 years later. It says 2006 on the back, but this DVD and the movie itself wasn't released until 2007. But I'll probably put the year as 2006. Not much for special features. It's 16 by 9 widescreen, which isn't a feature, that's a setting. English 5.1 and 2.0 Dolby Digital Audio. Again, just a setting. English and Spanish subtitles. Again, just a setting. And English closed captions. Again, just a setting. And then trailers. Ooh! Special feature being a trailer of other movies. I don't even think you get the trailer for this film, which most most films that have trailers as a special feature at least give you a special feature of the trailer for the film as well. This one doesn't have that. The menu is kind of boring too. It's just a bunch of uh, restaurant napkins floating around with this as the main menu screen. And I'm like, well, that's kind of half-assed. But the movie is not half-assed. I would have loved to have seen a Drive-Thru too. and they've talked about it since 2009, 2009 or 2010, and it would be called uh, Drive-Thru 2, The Nightmare Begins. Which, if you're gonna make a prequel to this, it was already done. You don't need a prequel because it explained itself in the middle of the movie. So you don't need a prequel because it was already explained to begin with. So that's my review over one of my all-time favorite killer clown flicks and one of my all-time favorite horror films. This is definitely in my top 20. It's up there with Mr. Jingles and Sloppy the Psychopath and Stitches. So hopefully you all enjoyed this. 9 out of 10. Go ahead, Killer Clown fans. If you haven't seen this, pick it up. If you're fans of the Hatchet Man, uh, the Hatchet Clown, the mascot for Psychopathic Records, check this out because they definitely got inspiration from that. So, anyways, uh, stay sharp about the horror movies you watch, and hopefully you all enjoyed my review. And if you didn't, sorry I couldn't entertain you. Um, this review went on for over over 30 minutes. Damn. Sorry, I just had so much fun talking about this film. It's one of my favorites. What can I say? So, anyways, I better cut it off right here and catch y'all later. Peace and have a good night. Psychopathic One signing out.